Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here and I'm excited to do today's video on time management. But before we get into the video, please like, subscribe, and comment down below what you want to see next and what you thought of this video. Through the course of this video, I'm going to give you 3 main tips and then things underneath those tips on how to apply them. And disclaimer, there are so many different ways that time management can be applied, that it can be thought of, so many different directions it can be approached from. So anyway, I just wanted to tell you that this is just from my own experience, what knowledge I've gained, and just the practices that I apply in my life and how it has impacted me and helped me, and I wanted to help you guys. But if that time management, this whole concept feels a little bit overwhelming, I just want to point you to a video, 7 tips on how to feel and be productive. I'll put it up here and you guys can go and check that out if you'd like to. Yeah, good video, good stuff. I hope you enjoy it. Speaking of time management, that is an alarm for some of my food that I'm making. I'll be right back. Okay, this video is just on my knowledge, experience, and things that have really worked well for me, and so I'm hoping that they'll help you and give you some good tips for your life and managing your time well. I want to start with point 1, know your values. So what are our values and how do we determine those and turn them into actual things that we're doing? So with time management and our values, we need to ask ourselves what needs to get done at the end of today, or what do I want to get done at the end of today? Because if we need to start with that kind of daily, what am I going to do today that will help me either move forward into tomorrow, or that I can accomplish today to have completely done and get it out of my brain so that it's not cluttering up my my brain, and so that I'm kind of always thinking about, oh, I didn't do that, I need to, oh dear, I don't have enough time, or it's already, the deadline has passed, it's done, whatever. So yeah, what does that look like? How do I do that? All of that stuff. So some of my values that I have set into place are God, relationships with other people, whatever I'm involved in, whether it be school or ballet, that I get those things done that are required of that. Work, showing up to that and doing my work well. Sleep, getting good sleep. Food, eating well. Taking care of my belongings, even little things like laundry or my car, stuff like that. So those are some of the things that I value in my life, and therefore I take care of those things and make sure that they get done. So one of the really big things about that, with asking what do I need to get done at the end of the day, is 1, what are those things? And then 2, make time for it. Because if you don't make time to get it done, then it probably won't. So I would say start with a to-do list, but you want to make sure that you also have the boxes or something so that you know when it's checked off, it is done, I have done it, it's all set. So even today, I don't know what my schedule looks like as much because it's a weekend day, it's a Saturday, and so I have a little bit more time to do whatever I'd like to. So I need to start with my to-do list so that I know what needs to get done today and that I have an outline. And even if it doesn't all get done, just making sure that I have written it down so that I know that it needs to be done, and then being able to know what level of importance those things are in so that you can make sure that you make time for the most important and that you leave those least important things for last. And also, it takes a while, I think, to know what is most important, because I think nowadays a lot of people would say sleep isn't important and they'll do everything else, and then they'll leave this much time for sleep, get a little bit of sleep, and then slowly get worse and worse with each day because they are functioning on very little sleep and it's not healthy. So I think it's also about determining the values that you have, but also important things that need to become a bigger value and of more importance in your life. That's the point 1 of my points today. Start with your values. Secondly, prioritize them. So I was talking about that a little bit. And basically my little words, my little sentence for that was make it happen. Like, make sure that what needs to happen happens, because otherwise, if we keep putting things on the back burner, eventually we don't really care anymore, and we start to just be like, throw the towel in, I don't care, it's not happening, whatever. And then we start to lose bigger things in life because of the smaller things that we didn't prioritize and make happen. So make it happen, prioritize those things that need to be prioritized, and put the other things that do need to be set on the back burner back on the back burner. So one example that my older sister used that I was kind of like, what, when I was younger, but that makes a lot of sense, is if you have like a jar and you put all of the bigger rocks into it, I'm just going to use rocks as the example, you put big rocks into it, then when you pour the little rocks in, they kind of can like fill up the other spaces, where if you put all the little rocks in, they'll kind of even out, and then when you try to put big rocks in, they just have like all this open space. So with that example, for prioritizing, make sure that the big rocks, those things that are more important, your bigger values, are put in first, and you make them fit into that jar or that time. And then you can pour those little rocks in and whatever time you have for those smaller things later. So yeah, and it might change on a given day. There might be things that you do every single day that you prioritize and those happen, and then the little rocks might shift a little bit. Yeah, I'll just give an example for myself. Each day I make time for the Lord when I wake up, by waking up at a good time and making time for the Lord, for healthy food, for getting ready for the day, definitely for sleep, for rest. Yeah, just kind of calculating how much time you need to get here, to do this, to get there, to do this, to stay here and do that. Just things like that, because it's important, and if we don't make time for it, it won't happen, and we'll fill our day with a bunch of little rocks, and then the big rocks will still be left out of the jar, and we'll have run out of room or time for them. So yes, that is prioritizing. And I also just wanted to add with that point, make sure that you prioritize fun things too, because if you fill your day with all these productive things, one, you might get a little bit drained and not be able to continue on that, and then two, you'll lose ground in fun things too. Like for example, with like rest, it might not seem as fun, but because we need rest to be able to be on for our on hours, we need to make sure that we turn off and have a good amount of time off so that we can be fully awake and there when we need to be on. So that's just something to go along with prioritizing. So once you've figured out your values, once you have prioritized what's big and what's small, then you need to make goals. And I would definitely start, especially if you feel like your time is just out of whack, out of like everything's out of proportion, everything's not quite where it needs to be right now. I would start really small with bite-sized goals. So things that you can do every day, and things that you can start to implement, maybe not 10 at once, maybe just one for a couple weeks or 3 weeks, to form a habit and get it really into your system. And then after that, you'll be able to build on that, and that one will become something that you do without thinking about it, and then you can start those things that you do need to think about, and it will just build, and you'll get more and more habits and more goals and more things done, and yeah, your values will be fulfilled and everything will start to line up. So that's my third thing, is goals, and make sure that you are giving yourself some bite-sized goals, and then also some long-term goals. So maybe you need some goals that are a bit bigger and things that you want to accomplish that you can start taking steps toward now, instead of just saying, that would be cool to do someday, but not actually going for it or taking a small step in that direction. And in case you're not following very well, I would say like small goals, you could do things like waking up on time, or making sure that you're on a good showering schedule, making sure that if you want to do your hair every day, that you do your hair, just kind of smaller things. So goals, master the small goals, and then you add to them. So that would be the kind of order of events in that area. And for bigger goals, something you could do is like, say you have a bucket list, which I don't love bucket lists, but if you want a bucket list, something like that, where you could be like, hey, I want to actually travel to this country someday, then you could start saving money at your job right now, or get a job. If you're not bringing in an income, you could get a little job if you have time for that in your schedule, and add that, and then start putting a little bit of money away to save toward that. Or another thing could be if you wanted to learn like say sign language, or one of my things that I still want to do that I haven't really made time for is learning how to type. And so if you want to do things like that, just kind of cutting out some time each day to really like work on it. But also with that, with the bite-sized goals, I would start with bite-sized things that are at the top of your values. So say that you want to start to spend more time with God, I would say sit down with your Bible, open it, and read one verse a day. And just let the Lord speak to you, pray, have time with him. And then you will start to kind of form this habit of time with God and spending time in his word and understanding what he's speaking to you during the day. And then being able to grow with that and make it into more time and make it into more conversations with the Lord, more prayers. And then you'll, see a lot of benefits to that too. And there's just so much value in finding your governing values and what your life, what matters most to you in your life. And then being able to build on that and grow that and make it into something that you do every single day. Those are 3 things that I would say help to line up your goals and your lifetime values a little bit and help you to get into some practical steps, and also that will help you manage your time better and just to understand kind of what you're pointed toward in life. Because if we just kind of do whatever hits us every day, we'll lose our appreciation for life because we won't know where we're headed. We'll just be miscellaneously kind of following whatever hits us and doing that, rather than being like, this is my goal, I'm headed here and I'm going to do it. So that's the point of why I'm sharing these 3 things and why I want to help you, because I think it is so important for us to manage our time, especially in this age of information when there's so much social media, so many voices speaking to us all the time, that we can just get caught on social media and just sit there for hours and then forget why we're doing what we're doing, and forget to really manage our own life, manage our own time, manage our own goals and values. And we just get kind of caught in someone else's life and someone else's chaos. And then when we get to ours, we don't really want to do anything with it. And that is not how we're meant to live. And our lives are worth a lot more than that. And God can use us in such big ways when we allow him to and when we put him first. So anyway, I would definitely encourage you with that. And I think that what I was saying earlier about having a Bible verse and reading that each day for one small thing to start with, I would definitely do that. I would start with God and with him, putting him first, opening his word, the Bible, and just receiving from him and allowing the work of Jesus to really move your heart, because that is such an amazing thing and it's the biggest part of who we are. We're wired for love, and God made us that way on purpose, and he loves us so much and wants to help us with even our small things like managing the time that we have here on earth. So that is what I have for the 3 tips part. I just want to give a few quick examples of what this can look like in your life and some small goals to start with. So first of all, I'm going to start at like the top of the day. When you wake up at a good time and honor your alarm. When it goes off, either snooze it and just do it one time, or know in your head where you're going to draw the line and then get up and start your day. Then I would say make your bed or get dressed. Spend time with the Lord, for sure. That's what I do next. I don't make my bed or get dressed right away. I go and spend time with the Lord. Feed your body well throughout the day. Eat 3 proper meals a day. Sit down maybe, or do something that kind of just gets your mind focused on what you're doing. Kind of, okay, I'm eating right now, or I'm reading right now, or I'm showering right now. Just kind of, well, obviously with showering you have to actually get in the shower. But with certain things, get yourself into that space so that you can do it. Show up at events or at work on time. Don't allow yourself to always be late, because it will bleed into other parts of your life and eventually become a trend for you, which is hard and it can feel really disappointing. But it starts with the small things like honoring your alarm in the morning. Set timers for yourself. You heard a couple of them go off in this video, and I do that. I set timers. So yeah, we have phones these days, so set your timer, or if you don't have a phone, use your watch or whatever you've got. Set a timer and either time yourself for doing something or set a timer for when you're going to start something, whatever that might look like. And then honesty with yourself. If you are writing down a to-do list that is just like long and pages of stuff, then you're probably not going to get it done and you'll feel pretty disappointed. So line up your values, get that set in order, and then take those goals, those small goals, and then into larger goals, and put those in get your little boxes and check them off as they go. And then for like social media and stuff, if your phone can do this, I would use the screen time thing. For me, I don't always just spend that much time on my phone because it is pretty small. I don't know, it's 30 minutes. I guess that is kind of a lot, but sometimes when I've like responded to a text message on my DMs and it's taken a while, then I'm like, that was 15 minutes of my time. I wanted to look at this person's story real quick because I feel like they're doing something interesting, whatever it might be. So yeah, you can have like grace for yourself, but I feel like it's good to know, oh, I've already been on here for 30 minutes. Okay, I should probably get off because I don't need to be on here anymore. So that's one thing. And then one thing that I'm practicing right now is like respond to texts, or don't open it until you're ready to sit down and actually respond to it, because otherwise you'll probably forget texts and you might miss out on things because you accidentally opened it and then you forgot about it and we're doing something else. So yeah, just try to like order things, put things on your calendar in your phone, take pictures of things if you wanted to remember them, just stuff like that that can be really helpful with our phones and also help us to limit our time on them because we can get really caught up. So yes, those are my little rapid fire examples and tips for you. And then also, I just wanted to end with give yourself grace in the growing process, in the determining what values you have, in determining what goals you have. Just give yourself grace to fail and to get better and to, to continue in them, to persevere, instead of, if you fail, just stopping, because it's worth it and I would encourage you to keep going. That is all that I have for you in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and that you're having a great day wherever you're at. I will see you guys soon, and I'm super excited for upcoming videos, and I'm so glad that you're all here. Please comment down below what you thought of this video and what you want to see next. Any questions you have about this video, whatever you might be thinking about, comment down below, and like this video too, and I will see you guys soon. Close up.